Hey there. Do you have experience with lucid dreaming? I do. And I started noticing on the internet lately that a lot of people are looking for ways to induce lucid dreaming. They're trying to experience it. I've seen people talking about herbs that I can't really pronounce the name of. Let's go like Kalia Z. And I've seen people talking about different techniques for inducing lucid dreaming. And I don't know how to induce lucid dreaming, but I used to have a real problem with it when I was a kid. I also, when I was an adult, had some psychological medications. Is that right? Psychiatric medicines that would mess with my dream state, and that was a problem. But when I was a kid, I could not control it. So I was wondering if anybody else out there, not because of any substances or techniques, did anybody else growing up or even now have issues with lucid dreaming? Because my issue when I was younger, one of the issues, many issues, because how do you know what this is when you're not not raised by doctors? When I was young, I was raised in a Pentecostal church known as the Assemblies of God. They were real focused on signs and wonders. So me just telling the Sunday school teacher one Sunday morning that I had this wild dream really wasn't a good idea because they got focused on that dream, nitpicked at it. So I had to be real careful what I said. I didn't know it at the time, but I learned growing up in that church that you basically couldn't talk to any of the adults about anything because they had a lot of very superstitious beliefs. But that was real hard as a kid because I kept having these really crazy dreams and I didn't really know what was going on at the time, and I also couldn't talk about it because where I was at, telling an adult something like that, you you weren't going to get something very scientific. And I'm not trying to be insultive or towards like education or even like IQ or anything. Like a lot of the people that went to this church that I went to were smart people. They made a good living, but they had like very superstitious beliefs about stuff. And I had a problem with lucid dreaming, and that was like a sign of a prophet to the adults. So I basically couldn't talk about it. Couldn't talk about these weird dreams. Um, they subsided because what I started doing as a teenager is I just stopped sleeping. Like I just started staying up for days at a time, which that'll start driving you crazy too. And then a little bit later on, um, I figured out that I wouldn't lucid dream if I would like micro sleep essentially. Only I was wrong. I was still giving myself a sleep disorder, but later on, like in my 20s, I stopped lucid dreaming because of the micro sleeping technique I was trying. But what would happen is almost every day for about 7 years. If somebody else is having problems with this, I hope this works for you too. Um, for about 7 years, almost every single day, I was having sleep paralysis. I would wake up, and it was always afternoon time. I'd take like a 4 hour nap or something like that. Probably wasn't 7 years because I started doing graveyard shift, and that really messed with my sleep cycle too. But anyway, I'm bad with time. Um, I started having sleep paralysis, and that causes you to go real goofy. And I think I only put up with it because I knew how goofy my head already was. Okay, when you're having sleep paralysis, when I was younger in the beginning, I'd see crazy stuff I'd wake up just enough, which I don't even know if I was awake, but you're there. If you've experienced sleep paralysis, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like a lot of times you can open your eyes, you can see yourself, everything. You just need somebody to touch you or move you or something so you can come online. It's terrifying to be honest with you. The first couple of times I did it terrified me so bad I never wanted to sleep again. Because you're paralyzed. That is what paralysis would feel like if it ever happened, and that terrifies me. But another kind of it is when your brain is even more locked off, where you're not just paralyzed, you start seeing weird stuff. Um, like one time, I thought there was a demon in the room, and it was attacking my brother, and I just needed to get up because I was raised in a real religious family, so I just needed to get up and I don't know, shout some scripture at it or something. I don't know what I was supposed to have done. But at the time, in that religious household that I was raised in, I thought that was real. I didn't think it was sleep paralysis at the time. I thought those really demons attacking my brothers and stuff. uh, but later on, once I started figuring out that some of that stuff was not real, and I started like doing some minor level psychology, figuring out that I was having sleep paralysis. I started having like goofy ones, and I would be more willing to put up with it. Like I would just wake up and be paralyzed. Hear people down here talking about something they're about to do. You're paralyzed. It sucks. But skipping ahead a little bit, I started having real bad lucid dreams again. Probably around age of 30, and I couldn't really explain that one because I wasn't being religiously superstitious about it. But at the same time, it really was driving me it was driving me insane because every night when I would go to bed, what started it was in my late 20s. I started messing with all sorts of psychiatric medications because I've got issues. But turns out there was a lot of things I could fix on my own, that's a different story. And the medications were just causing more problems. And it was causing this issue that I already had to begin with, which was lucid dreaming. Only it was, yeah, I would do this thing at night, and every night when I would go to bed, I would feel sleepy. I'd want to go to sleep. You're ready to go to bed, and you get that feeling just as you're going to sleep. I don't know if you've ever felt that before. Here you go. You're going to sleep. I would get that feeling. Heck yeah. And then it would immediately feel like you were being dropped on one of those like drop zone rides at like the fair or Tower of Terror at Disneyland or something where that's just it just feels like you're suddenly falling, bad plane turbulence or something, and wake you right back up, and it's like, oh well, that sucked. Lay back down. Oh, I'm ready to go to bed. Same thing over and over again, and that went on for probably 2 weeks. Um, and I don't remember what kind of medications we modified, if we added some or took something away or something. This is kind of the stuff I want to talk about because this isn't really religious. I've got just a bunch of really weird stories, and I don't know if anybody can relate to some of this weird stuff. Um, for about what I think is about 2 months, every night when I go to sleep, I wake up in like kind of like a lodge, made of like big wooden beams, and the layout doesn't make any sense because every night when I wake up, I'm in the same room. Nobody else is in there. It's a real small bedroom. You come downstairs and it's like a lodge with this big fire pit in the middle that goes up into an open sky. And there were people there that I got to know. And I'm not under the illusion that this is anything more than just figments of my imagination. Maybe they're spirits. Probably not. Probably just my mind. Um, but there were these people there that I could talk to. I got to know their names, which that's a different story. I'll talk about that later. But then I would go outside, and it's kind of like King Kai's planet on Dragon Ball Z, which I'd seen that, which is why I think that's what my brain was giving me something to work with, because it was kind of like that, and I'd seen that show. But the sky was pink. The grass was more of a golden color, not unhealthy like straw. It was like it felt like grass, and I think that has to do with the fact that the grass here where I live is very soft most of the year, and so I don't know, maybe your brain just gives you what you have to work with, and so the sky's pink. Um, maybe some clouds. Grass is a yellow color but very soft, and it wasn't big. It was just a little flat, not flat. It was flat. It was like it's almost like living on the moon. As dumb as that sounds, like I feel like there's so much absolute lies and nonsense on social media and certain pages that I feel like I wouldn't believe this if I told some people because it's just, I mean, but it's just something so non-specific to lie about. This that, hey, I used to have these dreams. Were they really cool? I mean, no, not really. It's monotonous. It is driving me crazy because every night you wake up in this exact same spot, just this tiny little planet with golden grass and pink sky, and there's people you can go inside and get to know and talk to, and but like when you know it's a dream, you know. Um. So anyway, I'll keep this. I'll stop it right there. Just I just want to know: does anybody else have any weird lucid dreams? Is the first topic I want to talk about because I'm not gonna lie and make up a bunch of stuff to try to get clicks and stuff. I'm genuinely curious about other. I don't know, just I guess anybody. I'm assuming I'm an artist and a musician, and I just assume that that it's always us that are the ones that are crazy. But I mean, if you've had dream issues, specifically lucid dreams, comment. Let me know. I'm genuinely curious how many other people had these kinds of dreams because every time I hear someone talk about lucid dreaming on like a short or a reel or something, it's something exciting or like I took control of a police car and all this. It's like, but it's not always what it is. Like when I was younger, yeah, it was like definitely like I was living out these like childhood uh, these primal things that your brain would put you through, like where you're falling all of a sudden. What would it be like to fall and just hit the ground? Like your brain does that to you in dreams, and when you're lucid dreaming, I don't know if it like kind of I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what the purpose of dreams are, but I feel like lucid dreaming is bad. Like it kills the purpose of it. Like your brain is doing something subconsciously, like it's trying to show you or teach you a lesson. This is just theory. And when you are constantly aware that you're in the dream, you don't ever get the lesson. And I'm wondering if that's not true and if why maybe I'm not doing better in life. Maybe I'd do better if I had not had such awful sleep the majority of my life. Um, so that's just a thought that maybe lucid dreaming, as cool as it can be, like if you're a creative type, it is a bit like Minecraft before Minecraft existed. Now the VR would be better because you can save it and wake up whenever you just want to. But um, I don't know. I see a lot of people wanting to induce lucid dreams on social media, and you might not know what you're unboxing, because you might not be able to stop. Like once you start lucid dreaming, once you kind of peek behind the curtain and you see what your dreams are, what if you can't stop? And I'm not so sure that's something you want to do is mess with your dream states. I think you should just leave them alone.